guard Shaun Livingston. Shaun, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Happy to be on.
Shaun, I got to ask you this. We saw the injury to Paul George. You know, it was a very gruesome injury. We know what you dealt with in terms of, you know, having a catastrophic leg injury. Your initial reaction when you saw that injury with Paul George?
I didn't see it. But
okay.
Just hearing about it, you know, I understand it's a very severe injury, you know, kind of a compound fracture, similar to what Kevin Ware did. And, you know, you obviously feel for him and all the work that he's put in, but in understanding, you know, injuries do happen to, you know, professionals. Injuries can happen to anybody. And, you know, I know the work that he put in to get to where he's at, you know, or where he was, is going to be the same work that he puts into the rehab and getting back to the top, you know. So I have the utmost faith in Paul George and his recovery.
So you can't watch it? You refuse to watch it?
No, I'm not watching it. I don't watch injuries.
You didn't miss anything, definitely. I mean, in terms of his comeback, I mean, obviously, you know, the mental hurdle, you know this very well. It's very tough. It's very rough. How long did it take you to trust your body again?
You know, I mean, it just kind of, I guess, you know, you could say, I can't really put a cap on it, but, you know, a couple of years, maybe a year, you know, I mean, for me, you know, I'm such an instinctive player. I play off instincts. I mean, that's the way I play the game. So, and using that same terminology, you know, it translates over to my rehab and just kind of the way I play the game. And, you know, when I came back, I told myself it just has to be no limitations. In order for me to make it back and beyond. So, you know, when I play, it was just trying to trust in my body and just going out there and just playing and not necessarily thinking about the knee or the injury. I mean, I had symptoms and setbacks throughout my recovery process, and I think that was just kind of natural. And, you know, what happens when I was coming from such a far ways back. But now, you know, I've come to a place where I can trust my body, you know, trust my instincts and understand, trust the work that I put in to get back to where I am.
Have you spoken to Paul George at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay. And at the end of the day, what's your biggest piece of advice to Paul George?
You know, I think be patient. You know, he wants to just be patient and, you know, but also push yourself. I think, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, his hurdles, obviously, you know, you see the injury, and it's more of a shock value than anything. You know, you kind of see what happens, and you're just shocked that an injury could happen. That's severe. But, you know, try to, I think, just, you know, as far as his work ethic, you know, I trust that. But the mental hurdles and the mental stability, you know, every day, you know, just setting goals for himself and pushing himself past those goals. And, you know, the same type of mentality that it takes, you know, to compete at the highest level, you know, and to get to where he is, you know, to be one of the top 10 players in the world. You know, use that same mentality in fighting your rehab, because it is a fight, you know, every day. The mental hurdles, you know, it's a fight.
And you tweeted out that experience, you know, the rehab and everything made you stronger mentally. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, just in my approach, you know, and being here and appreciating the game, and, you know, just obviously, you know, conquering your fears and, you know, and going out there and just making it happen. I mean, you know, I think you can't be afraid of failure, you know, if you want to be great at something. And, you know, I think these type of injuries, you know, they really strengthen you mentally, emotionally, you know, and it really can show what you're made of, you know, in a time of distress or in a time of chaos, in a sense. You know, everybody has their opinion. The public opinion, you know, they think that you're not going to make it back, or, you know, you'll never be the same, or, you know, and some of those things, you know, could ring true in the future, but we don't know, you know. And I think for him, it's just controlling, you know, his thoughts, his thought process, his outlook, you know, and remaining positive, but, you know, pushing himself to the brink, you know, to get back to where he was and even further, to be the player that he's destined to be.
We're talking to Warriors guard Shaun Livingston. And Shaun, you signed with the Golden State Warriors after a successful season with the Nets. What made the Golden State Warriors situation attractive for you?
Well, the fit. It's a great fit. I mean, the players, the team, they have a great group of guys over there. I think it shows in just their camaraderie and, the way they play the games. They like playing with each other, which is important in a team, a team sport. It's because it's a family. The NBA is like a family, and the team is, a shade of the family as well. And, they just have a great fit over there, with the shooters that they have, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. I know Andre Iguodala. I played with Andrew Bogut.
Okay.
I know David Lee from Missouri. So, I mean, these guys, it's a good fit. I think what I can bring to the table, it's something that I think the team and myself can both mutually benefit from.
Now, do you see yourself having the same role that you had with the Nets, being almost a sixth man?
Similar roles. I mean, the teams are kind of put together. They're kind of put together in similar ways. But I think just coming in and backing up either Steph or Klay, and just kind of being there for those guys and pushing those guys, every day to get better. Because those guys, their potential is obviously huge, and their performance and their success keys to the team's success as well.
Now, did the Nets offer you any type of contract?
Yes, they did, but
Okay.
It's a business, and it was a family last year. I had a good year. I wish we would have went further. And I enjoyed my time playing with them. I learned a lot playing with some of the players, and Joe, Paul, Kevin, and Jason. But I mean, it's just it's the way the business works. And I would have loved to be back, but now I'm a Golden State Warrior, and I'm happy to be here.
We're talking to Warriors guard Shaun Livingston. You talked about the situation in Brooklyn. You played in 76 games, which was a career high for you. You had a very good season with the Brooklyn Nets. Talk about your season with the Nets and what you did.
Well, yeah, I had a good year. I mean, it started out rocky. Brooke went down. Jason played with the lineups, put us, inserted me in the starting lineup, kind of went more of a hybrid lineup, and it just, the fit was good. It worked. A lot of the times it's not necessarily about, the individuals, but just the chemistry between the individuals. I think that's what kind of determines the success of the team. You look at the teams that win. I mean, they have good chemistry with each other. Players, role players, they know their roles. All the players know their roles. So, I think it was a good fit from that standpoint, and I think it's just as good, if not better, here in Golden State.
Now, the Warriors do have a new coach in Steve Kerr. At this point, do you know in terms of the offense, will it be a triangle? Will it be a variation of the triangle? What kind of offense
I don't know.
Will they be running in Golden State?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm pretty sure it'll be predicated on ball movement and body movement. I mean those are the hardest offenses to guard. From a team defense standpoint. So I think that's just looking for more ball movement and body movement, and just trying to get more guys involved.
We're talking to Golden State Warriors guard Shaun Livingston, and looking at the Golden State Warriors, obviously you talked about the talent. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Iguodala, David Lee, to name a few. How close do you think this team is to winning a championship? It's rough out there in the Western Conference. How close do you think this team is to winning a title?
I mean, there's obviously the West is stacked, but there's a lot of teams that are right there. I feel we're one of them. I think that's the mentality that you have to take into training camp. Teams come in and they, there's only a handful of teams that really believe that they can win a championship, and I think we have to be one of those teams from the get-go.
For sure, definitely a lot of talent there with the Golden State Warriors. We'll see what happens. It's rough out there in that Western Conference, man. A lot of teams out there, a lot of great basketball teams out there in the West, so it should be interesting what happens. Shaun, you're doing big things with your foundation, the Shaun Livingston Foundation. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Shaun Livingston Foundation is something I started, when I went professional in Los Angeles, and we've done some things here in LA, working with different community centers and different organizations out this way. And then once I left LA, the more time that I spent away and the more I started to move around, I felt it was just necessary to bring the foundation back to Peoria. And now that's where our target is. It's Peoria, Illinois, where I'm from, and that's where I was raised. And so now the foundation is working there with other community centers and working with kids, at risk kids in the community, to try to provide opportunities, try to work with different outreach programs, and just help, just to give back. I mean, it means a lot to me, being where I'm from. I was able to receive opportunities by going to different schools and different places and working with different programs. And, I want to help and provide some of those same programs and different programs as well for kids back where I grew up, because I think that's important. I mean, wherever you leave and wherever you're from, it's important to give back and to show how much the community did for you and how much they mean to you.
Now, where can fans find information about some of the great things going on with the Shaun Livingston Foundation?
You can find information through our website at the ShaunLivingstonFoundation.com. So, I mean, all our website is up and running, and we're looking to make a difference, in the Central Illinois area.
Definitely. And fans, also make sure you hit this guy up on Twitter at Shaun Livingston. As a whole, you started your career in L.A., you're back out on the West Coast. You like being out on the West Coast?
I do. It's a change of pace. It's kind of like home away from home, per se.
Okay.
So I enjoy it. It's hard not to like, California.
For sure. Again, fans, make sure you support all the great things going on with Shaun Livingston. Make sure you hit him up on Twitter at Shaun Livingston. Shaun, pleasure talking to you, man. Wish you nothing but best of luck moving forward. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, boss.